Welcome to all of those who are members of the secular order of the Discalced Carmelites, or those who are interested in the secular order of the Discalced Carmelites. Welcome again to this 13th video that I'm now making to speak about some rather essential points that I covered in a book that I wrote 12 years ago. I thought to myself, after 12 years, should this be rewritten? And I don't think so, because I think it covers the basic points in a basic way. It's not high spirituality, it's not high theology, it's concrete, practical, how to be a member of the secular order. And in some ways, just how to be a Carmelite. I said, as I've repeated, there's a Latin saying, repetitio mater studiorum. What that means is repetition is the mother of learning. So I repeat every time the description that I made on page 9 of the book, Welcome to the Secular Order of the Discalced Carmelites. And on page 9, number 5, 6 elements, which I say go into the identity of for the discernment. Do I have a vocation to the secular order? Does this person have a vocation to the secular order? Number 1, practicing Catholic. Number 2, under the protection of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. The protection of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. I explained that. Number 3, under the influence of St. Teresa of Jesus and St. John of the Cross. I explained that. Make a commitment to the order. The commitment that is concretely expressed and experienced in a commitment to the community. This in a concrete way. There's no commitment to the order without a commitment. And I have been making the distinction between those who follow the spirituality of St. Teresa, or spirituality of St. John of the Cross, or spirituality of St. Teresa, or of St. Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, Elizabeth of the Trinity, Teresa of the... there's so many beautiful, wonderful Carmelite saints that we have as examples, and that many of them have left things that we can read. But following the spirituality is not committing to the order. Committing to the order is specific, and it's a specific way commitment to the community. And commitment to the order through the community is there, guided by the constitutions, guaranteeing membership in the order. And we came to number 5, which is make a commitment to the order to seek the face of God. This element is the question of prayer. There are a number of things I want to finish up on, some of these things on prayer. There's a number of things that I want to say. The first thing is prayer, mental prayer, meditation is not elite. It's not reserved for friars and nuns. All people have, the whole world, everybody in the world has a vocation to holiness. And holiness is experienced by the relationship with God. And the relationship with God is most effective in prayer. And the result, both for purpose and result. Seek the face of God. I pointed out last week from Psalm 27, which is the second psalm of Wednesday Vespers, evening prayer, first week. O Lord, hear my voice when I call. Have mercy and answer. Of you my heart has spoken. Seek his face. It is your face, O Lord, that I seek. Hide not your face. There is another quote from the Psalms. I'm going to use the RSV translation. It's Psalm 24, verse 6. Such is the generation of those who seek him, who seek the face of the God of Jacob. I like that translation. Just such is the generation. I often think to myself, it could be a subtitle of Carmelite life. This is the generation. Such is the generation that seeks him, that seeks the face of the God of Jacob. The Father has a face. Now, the only way to get to, just shortly, the only way to get to the Father is through the Son, according to the Son. No one knows the Father but the Son, and no one knows the Son but the Father. No one knows the Father but the Son, and anyone to whom the Son reveals him. So the relationship with Jesus is absolutely important for anyone who wants to seek the face of the Father. And that's what we're seeking. So it's not elitist. Prayer is not elitist. God chooses who he gives certain degrees of prayer to for God's purposes. But I want to make sure that we understand that the purpose of prayer is to bear fruit. For Saint Teresa, and what Saint Teresa wrote, the purpose of prayer is to produce virtues. The production of virtues, the living of virtues, the practice of virtues. That's what makes prayer prayer. I came across a quote of Saint Teresa's from her letters. Letter 136, paragraph 5, 136, paragraph 5, a letter written on the 23rd of October, 1576, to Padre Jerome Gratian. Oh, this is real prayer, and not some delights for the sake of nothing more than our own satisfaction. And when these kind of delights are present, they are accompanied by laxity and fears and feelings that we are not being esteemed sufficiently. Listen to this. I would not want any other prayer than that which makes the virtues grow in me. I'm going to repeat that. Saint Teresa, our mother, says, I would not want any other prayer than that which makes the virtues grow in me. If it should be accompanied by great temptations, dryness, and trials, leaving me with a greater humility, I would consider that a good prayer. Virtues. To live the life of the virtues is to live the spiritual life. And the virtues are not known solely by ourselves. We know our virtues when we are living in the world, when we're fulfilling our lives. I said that prayer was not elitist. I told you already one time about back a few, maybe the first or second video. I told you about a provincial who told me, please don't bother our people with St. Teresa, St. John of the Cross. Enough for them to have the rosary and the scapular. Oh my goodness. From a Carmelite provincial. What does he think of his people? So it's not elitist. If any priest, if any religious, if anybody tells you prayer is, you're trying to be a nun or you're trying to be a priest or a friar, they're the ones that are crazy. Pardon me for saying that way. Many times, I'm going to say this, it's rather controversial maybe, but many times the priests that want the lay people to stop trying to be priests, even though that's not true, they're not trying to be priests, they're not trying to be nuns. You're trying to be people who are seeking the face of God. The priests who tell people, oh, are negative about the spiritual life, the prayer life of lay people, many times would rather be lay people in the way they live. One other thing. I will do more on this in further discussion when we do the famous 6 M's, the profile of a secular order member. This is the discernment process. And there's another step that I'll do called on the profile of the secular order. So remember, you have the right to pray. You have the right to a spiritual life, not given to you by the order, not even given you by the church, but given to you by God, who made you in his image and likeness and called you to know him in a special way through the life of Carmel. May God bless you. Now, remember to hit the subscribe button, then the little alarm, and if you want to hit the like button. God bless you.